Before long, he was using homophobic and racist, oh God, not my guy. Audiobook listeners, not my guy. During the tour, we had the opportunity to be introduced to the CEO, Mark DeForest. He went by S2 Maliken? What the fuck? He was a small guy with a timid demeanor despite having an online reputation for being aggressive and outspoken. I was surprised he had no idea who we were when Phil first introduced us. It was undoubtedly an indicator that esports was not high on his priority list. I mean, true, but the CEO doesn't know you, and you're surprised. I don't think the CEO of Valve knows who I am. Come on, Zyori. I know you're a big shot, but come on now. Given that we were the only event organizer supporting his game, I expected him to at least be aware his company was paying for these tournaments to happen. As it grew later in the day, most of the marketing department stopped working on their projects and started playing HoN at their desks. Phil joined in on one of the games. Before being called off to a surprise meeting just minutes after the match began, he beckoned me over to take his spot instead of abandoning the game. I sat down and noticed Maliken was on my team, playing on a secret account so our opponents wouldn't know his identity. His level of toxicity was unreal. Every time he battled with an opponent, win or lose, he would immediately insult them with profanities of all kinds. My kind of boy. As the game continued, his performance grew worse and worse, which seems to trigger even more toxic behavior. Before long, he was using homophobic and racist, oh God, not my guy. Audiobook listeners, not my guy. Insulting enemies who weren't even talking back to him. Audio listeners, chill. Not my guy. While I can understand using video games as a anonymous release of frustration, this CEO was demoralizing the patrons of his game. I couldn't believe someone on his level with such an incredible game at his fingertips wouldn't have more pride in his creation. Getting the surprise chance to play a match with Maliken was the cherry on top of an already eye-opening adventure. There were a lot of things about the S2 offices that I really liked, but I walked away with mixed confidence in HoN's longevity. I admired how relaxed their office was and thought it might be a lot of fun to work for a company like that. But at the same time, it was no secret that they lacked a long-term vision. They desperately needed stronger leadership. Their whiteboards were filled with big ideas, but they didn't have a solid plan towards execution. Members of the S2 team kept hinting and making subtle remarks about their mysterious HoN Tour tournament series, but they didn't really give any details. There was something rather alluring about the work environment at S2, and as much as I had reservations about their long-term vision, part of me wanted to work there. Now that was good. That was good. That was a good chapter. How interesting. What a psychotic CEO. Very interesting to know that he was a toxic boy. Gaben's not toxic at all. He's crazy, but he's not toxic. That's a very interesting. Very interesting. HoNcast. That's the title of this one. It's just called HoNcast. HoNcast. That's the next. It's just called HoNcast. After a few days, we got back from Kalamazoo. Phil reached out to me with a serious inquiry about becoming an official commentator at HoNcast. He confirmed that he was going to move into a new role as the director of esports, so they needed someone to replace him as Breaky's co-caster. Oh, drama! Will Zyori accept Breaky as a co-caster after all that Breaky's done? Find out next time. Find out.
To hear the rest of the story, pick up a copy of Surviving Esports, the Zyori story, in paperback, ebook, and audiobook, available on Amazon.com.